Hey crew, Mark Hadmaker here. Let's talk a little bit about a concept called neotenous cardio. Whenever we're doing any kind of thing to boost our stamina, what's going on, it is wise clearly to have some gas in the tank because you can't fake endurance. So when we're doing our strength and conditioning program, sure, absolutely we want to have greater strength, and sure, we want to have greater endurance. There's two ways to go when it comes to endurance. Actually, there's three. I'm going to give you that third. That's neotenous cardio. One way is to work primarily your sport. Let's say you're a boxer, me, combination man, old school rough and tumbler. So tons of boxing, tons of wrestling, tons of tomahawk work, tons of Comanche plains knife, etc. The thing is, though, once you get good at it, not saying I am, but once you get good at it, what happens, you're really just improving your sport speed. You're grooving the system, and the more efficient we become at something, the harder it is to get that stamina system jacked. So to make this sport-specific training work for us, we have to do longer and more intense times to get the same effect, just have the same progression that we would have had in the beginning. The other way to go is to have something that's completely outside of our training regimen. For example, that's why you see people on treadmills or are doing burpees or what have you. Something that's completely separate and different from the sport. Both those modalities work. The problem is, whenever it's just our sports training, to continue to make improvements, we have to do harder and longer. So I have to box longer and wrestle longer to make any gains in that material. Nothing wrong with that if you really like it, but it starts having poor return to the buck for time investment and bangs the body. Or we might have to put in running faster and longer whenever we're doing our road work and skipping our rope. The burpees and all this, the thing is, if you don't like that kind of thing also gets in the weeds. You're doing something longer for a sport you'd rather be doing. So out of the two, I would always rather do the thing that I like doing as opposed to road work. Me, I can't abide. I haven't run in years. So, but there's another way to go with this, and it's called neotenous cardio. And what you do is you pick an activity that you're not good at, or something you don't normally get, and you go, you ever experience this kind of thing where you think, hey, I'm fit, I'm okay, and then your friend invites you to go hiking or something in Canyonland. And if you've never done it before and you think, I'm fit, I do Stairmaster all this time, I'm good to go, and then by the end of the day, you're huffing and puffing at elevation, you got a tough time, you're not out of shape, and you go, man, this is different, I thought I was ready for this, and the next day they go, man, I'm sore in some weird areas. That's the neoteny of it, because sports training is so specific. Whenever we do something that's outside that domain, it starts making some demands on the body that we're not used to doing. So what we can do, if we can't keep making our sport expand into the time horizon, and we don't want to just do burpees and road work constantly, we find something, an endeavor that we might kind of like peripherally, but we don't already necessarily do it, and work on that as our so-called cardio. That's our neotenous cardio. The neoteny means new to us. Like I got a good friend, great Russian gymnast, amazing. If I go work with him doing any sort of standard gymnast work, it's nothing to him, okay? But I find some little weird, odd areas that I can have some sore spots after the first few sessions with him, and I breathe harder than he does when we're doing this. But what he does for his cardio, he boxes, he bangs the bag. And he'd be the first to say, when you're watching him, it ain't pretty, but his heart and lungs go up there where someone maybe like you, maybe like me, whenever we're hitting the bag at that rate, what he's doing, you go, that's a kind of a piece of cake. It's the neoteny of the ability. Outside the domain, you get out of specificity. So what I'm saying is, you got a peripheral sport, tangential sport that you like. You can't box and wrestle for 24 hours a day, and you got to have some extra work in there, and you want to go out and run and all this. So you like handball, you want to play soccer with the kids, but you don't normally do it. You want to take up some gymnastics work, do 15 minutes and jumping around and doing some round-offs and cartwheels, and high kick straddle jumps, that kind of thing. This is ideal. It's a way to kind of hack the system, and in a sense, you kind of build up additional skills that you can transfer it over. The thing is, though, once you start getting good at it and grooving, let's say you start playing handball every day and you get better and better at it, you'd have to play that longer. So there's nothing wrong with kind of switching and transferring over to something even slightly different. So we have our primary sports, let's say combination man, frontier rough and tumble for me. I can add in road work, or I can add in burpees, or I can do something fun, but something slightly outside the tick. Pick yourself up a sports encyclopedia, you go through the YouTube, see a wild-ass sport or something you've never done, and go, hey, I'm going rock climbing 3 times a week now. And then till you kind of get okay at it. Once you get a baseline with it, then you start grooving to it. You want to find something else you can groove to. Again, you don't have to go that way, but it's a way to kind of hack and keep the balance in without our time horizon continually going up and up and up. Anyway, hopefully you found that information useful. If you want more information on some of our old school Frontier Rough and Tumble combination man, unleaded old school conditioning, scientifically verified and viciously useful, my friends, go over to www.extremeselfprotection.com. Have a look at our conditioning programs called the Unleaded Whole Hog material. 6 blocks to a brand new YOU. I ain't even kidding. That's my index finger. Now, here comes my thumb. Have a good one.